What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna talk about stuff I don't really know anything about now. I'm joking a little bit. We're gonna talk about gear crafting and crafting orders, and specifically the 10.1 PDR. Now, obviously, I haven't made much gold with the crafting high-end gear, but I have crafted my own 418 gear for my characters. So I know how the system works. I just don't have the patience to sit in trade chat. But if you do, then obviously you're going to be very interested in how this is going to look in 10.1. There are some changes to the overall system. So let's take a look at them. Things have crystallized a little bit since I did my first preview videos, which is why we're covering this again. And I'm assuming that what we're seeing now is pretty much how it's gonna look when this goes live. This goes live in, well, just about 3 weeks. So first off, as you can see where I'm hovering right now, instead of the recipe requiring a spark, there's now a spark slot, and you choose Spark of Ingenuity. This will turn it into a Season 1 item, or Spark of Shadow Flame, which I'm assuming is going to be on some sort of unlock schedule, similar to how Sparks of Ingenuity were at the beginning, so you can't craft just full Season 2 gear right away. This will set the base item level much higher, and it will also allow you to use the Season 2 embellishments, the Shadow Flame quest. They require Spark of Shadow Flame as the spark for that item. So that obviously you're not getting anywhere really. So this is the big change. It doesn't really change how the system works much. It just means that for any Season 2 item, you're going to need Sparks of Shadow Flame. If it's a Season 1 item, then you're going to use the Season 1 Primal Infusions. I'm not sure if these are going to drop, probably not. So it's just people who might have these, and obviously the Primal Infusions that you get from Renown and stuff like that. When it comes to the power infusions, the items that give you increased item level, things are changing, but they're also staying exactly the same. What do I mean by that? Well, as you can see here, the Enchanted Worm's Shadow Flame quest increases the recipe difficulty by +30, sets the item level to heroic raid item level equivalent in Season 2. And the Primal Infusions, which does the same thing right now, also has +30 recipe difficulty. So and it's the same for the Mythic Eye level 1. They have +50. So what does that mean? It means if you can reach quality 5 right now with the concentrated Primal Infusion, you have the same chance of reaching quality 5 with the new Shadow Flame crest. Nothing changes in that regard. But what is changing and is going to have some real effects is going to be a different market. On top of that is the fact that all of these infusions are now crafted items that requires some Shadow Flame crests, and it requires chromatic dust, vibrant shards, resonant crystals, and the new transmute item Dracothests that alchemists have to transmute. And then they have to be crafted with a crafting order, essentially. So yeah, that's gonna have an effect because well, this is a completely new market. It's gonna be very similar to the unstable Elementium market. Gonna see public orders. If you're the first one to get these recipe, then you're gonna crank stuff out. Or then if you're the first one with this recipe, then you're just going to sit in trade chat and generate deals and get a ton of them. Now, obviously, these are the same crests that people use to upgrade their gear. You can upgrade Mythic Plus gear. So this is going to compete with like upgrading the items that they get from M+. And this now replaces the need to reach a specific raid RIO, or rather Mythic Plus rating, to upgrade your items to the highest item level, as long as you can do the keys. So I don't know if this means that like crafted gear is going to be less efficient. I haven't seen the upgrade paths for crests and compared it to see which might make people not do max level crafted gear right away, because that's going to put them short other slots, or it might mean that they're going to do crafted gear right away because that's a guaranteed perfect stat piece for the most part, or it's going to be something with a very strong embellishment effect. Now, when the PTR first came out, this little enchanted Whelpling Shadow Flame crest, I talked about this in the last video, because this is something you use on rare items, and it does not say anything about turning the item BOP. Whereas if you go to the Titan Training Matrix 5, this specifically says that it's going to turn the item into a bind and pickup item. But for those of you like me who were hoping that this meant that we were gonna finally be able to sell gear on the auction house, well, It's just a tooltip missing information type deal. You can see here the Enchanted Rice Bark wand. Once I slammed on this one, it is bind on pickup. We still don't get to sell gear on the auction house. Not even catch-up gear. That's like normal raid, LFR raid level. Sad, but that's how it is, and probably how it's going to be for the rest of Dragonflight. Apparently, Blizzard doesn't want us to sell even any remotely decent catch-up gear, BOP or BOE catch-up gear, which is sad. I think it's sad. I think it would be nice to just be able to buy like even some very bad gear, or relatively bad gear, but we don't have it, or even just selling like 1 or 2 stronger pieces that's like almost normal raid level and limited to 1 or 2 slots. But yeah, can't really do anything about that, so it is what it is. We'll take a look at the Enchanting Recipes. So as you can see, the recipe source here for the crests and the new Titan training matrices, it's all drops and treasures from the Sarlacc caverns. As of right now, the recipes, you can't see it here, but according to the data mine stuff on Wowhead, they are all bind and pickup. So you have to go farm these yourself on your enchanter. Obviously, that's something that you're going to want to do. Having this is going to be very good. We don't know drop rates. None of that's really on Wowhead yet. Whether you should be treasure hunting, farming mobs, or if there's some sort of other thing you need to do to unlock the ability to drop these. Not sure about that. Either way, they're going to be from the new zone, and you're going to want these on your enchanters for sure. So what are my overall thoughts about this? I think that it's going to be very similar to how it is right now, essentially. What I mean by that, well, we're now in a position where a lot of people can craft a lot of different items at max quality. So there's a decent amount of competition, and we can obviously expect that to continue because nothing is changing in terms of like being able to craft these items. The changes we are going to see is obviously we're going to see higher demand for recrafts. People are going to want to recraft just into Spark of Shadowflame. Just adding the Spark of Shadowflame in and of itself, it's going to make your item be able to reach item level 424, which is already better than anything you can have on the item. So obviously a lot of people are just going to want to swap to Spark of Shadowflame and get 424. So we're going to have recrafting from that. And then obviously people are going to start putting their crests towards infusions eventually, but whether or not they do that right away or not, we'll have to see. I suspect that they will be prioritizing their embellished pieces fairly early because the embellishments are so strong, and particularly stuff like the Elemental Lariat, where it's just secondary stats and you get perfect secondaries on a neck with a really strong effect. Then getting this upgrade can be fairly worthwhile, but that's going to depend on the exact numbers of like how many crests are used. But we're definitely going to see a lot more recraft orders than right now. The demand is going to be a lot higher. There's going to be much more competition than there was at launch. Tons of people have the Lariat recipe now, for instance. But there's still going to be a lot of demand that you can pick up, and probably a lot of deals in trade chat. So you're going to be looking at trade chat. You're going to be advertising your services. You're going to do the math on your inspiration rate and your actual max quality rate when you also take into consideration any hidden skill value thresholds if you're getting close to those. If you don't know what hidden skill value is, then check out my video on that. It's a banger. And then you're going to try to make gold. Try to find the services, or try to find the people who are looking for your services. Give them a decent price. Try to talk them up, and go crafting. So that's it. That's it for 10.1 crafting. Overall, obviously, this is going to be very similar or very familiar territory for most of you. The small differences that are there are important to be aware of, and the biggest one is obviously just that enchanters are going to be able to make gold making the actual infusions. Outside of that, people are obviously still going to rely on crafted gear because it's a really useful way to get strong pieces with perfect secondary stats, which is it's always good. Good luck.